So Jim Acosta, who's, let's face it, my favorite anchor at CNN, just did an incredible interview with Sam Donaldson. Sam Donaldson, of course, is the legendary news anchor, now retired, formerly with ABC News, who just has such a fresh and sober perspective on the news, and specifically what took place with respect to the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago executed last Monday. It's just so refreshing to hear this in a world of clownish figures on Fox News and all of the BS and disinformation echo chambers that are out there, to remember a time when Sam Donaldson's existed and told it like it is. So first, let's play this one clip of Sam Donaldson, his immediate reaction when he heard about the search warrant executed at Mar-a-Lago, saying that it reminded him of Al Capone. Let's play that clip.
How should this story be covered in the eyes of Sam Donaldson?
Well, you know, when I heard about it, the fact that the FBI had seized from his safe and other places these documents, which should be held someplace else, particularly the top secret ones, which must be held someplace else. It may be a violation of the Espionage Act of 1917. It's a very serious crime. I thought of Al Capone. Now, Al Capone was a great big gangster in the 1920s and 30s, bootlegged millions of gallons of whiskey. That was illegal. But more than that, a lot of credible evidence that he had ordered the murder of many people. But they never brought him to justice on that. But wait a moment. The IRS discovered that Al Capone was cheating on his income taxes. And so they brought him to justice on that. He went to prison. That's where he died. If the Attorney General cannot bring himself because of lack of evidence or belief that the country is not ready to bring a president on charges of insurrection or obstruction of justice, how about violation of laws which keep this country safe, like the Espionage Act? If there's credible evidence, I think more of the American public would say, well, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. Let's see what the jury of his peers provides for. I'd like to see it.
I think he said it perfectly there. And he goes on in the interview to talk about what his feelings are about some of the people who are supporting the rhetoric of Donald Trump and all of the disinfo and the lies out there. Let's play this clip.
Trump is saying today that they were protected by attorney-client privilege. Sam, it's hard to keep up with all of these shifting explanations.
Yeah, it is. Well, you know, I'm for both sides' call on a examination of this. There should be an investigation. The Justice Department should, and everybody connected with this, including the FBI, should explain exactly what they did, why they did it, and why it was legal and necessary. But assuming that is done, all of these explanations, if we haven't in the last 5 years or more heard from Donald J. Trump and the people who believe in him, regardless of the evidence, regardless of what anyone else says, regardless of whether their own eyes show them something else, we're not going to be able to convince them. We're not going to be able to conclude that, hey, look at the evidence, look at the proof here. They're not going to look at it. And so I think they're lost, and I regret it, because in other respects, they're American citizens, and in many respects, really good neighbors. But in this respect, we're not going to allow them to control the country. They're not going to seize the United States. Donald J. Trump and his merry band really have lost. We're going to have another dip. Maybe 2024 is the dipping point. But the majority of Americans quite clearly want to preserve the country, the democracy, the ideals, the opportunity for everyone, regardless of the color of their skin or their way of religious faith, to rise. I think truly this glass may be half full at the moment, but it's filling up, not draining down.
I think it's an important point there that Sam Donaldson is saying, which is that, look, while on the one hand, he feels bad for this group, this 30% or so of our country who's been radicalized by this right-wing extremist rhetoric, we are not going to let these individuals take over our country, period. There are more pro-democracy, true patriots in the United States who are going to stop this nonsense. And finally, Sam Donaldson reiterates this point again, but as a very pointed message at the radical right extremist Republicans who should know better. Let's play that clip.
The ones who now are supporting Donald J. Trump and Trumpism, when they know better, if they're simply ignorant in the dictionary definition of the sense, right, I feel sorry for them. I'd like to help them. But those people who know better Not only are they cowards, but they're the ones who are not Americans. Donald Trump has said, we in the press are American, or not un-American. All Democrats are un-American and the enemies of the state. Yeah, we're the enemies of the state. Now they're calling the FBI our principal national law enforcement agency, which keeps us all safe and has for decades and decades, un-American. How dare they? How dare they? Who are these people? Pardon me, I'm now going into paroxysm.
You're absolutely right, Sam, and that has always been the danger when the President of the United States refers to one segment of American society as the enemy. What's to say he won't come to your segment of American society next? And that is why I think it's so important, Sam, as you lay out the stakes. It is good to do.
As Pastor Niemeyer once said, when they came for me, there was no one left to protest.
That's it. That's it.
There you have it. These individuals are cowards. And you know he's talking to the Ted Cruzes, the Marco Rubios, the Howleys, that entire crew of radical right fascists who are really doing it just to further entrench their power. I could keep on listing more and more and more people, but we don't have all the time in the world. But there you have Sam Donaldson, incredible interview with Jim Acosta that I wanted to bring you. Just so refreshing to hear someone like that tell it like it is. And this isn't about, again, right wing, left wing. This is about pro-democracy. This is about following the facts, following the evidence, and ultimately being a country that supports the rule of law and not wannabe fascist dictators like Donald Trump. This has Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Please make sure to subscribe. That's how you can help us. Hit the subscribe button. We're the fastest growing independent media company in the world. Thanks to people like you. Please hit the subscribe button so we can keep on growing. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is Jordy, co-founder of MeidasTouch. Person, woman, man, camera, prison. MeidasTouch just came out with a brand new t-shirt with this perfect message. Make sure you check out store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com and grab yours today. Thank you.